for Purdue off the Minnesota block. We are up and running, Audrey.
Yeah, and that was a nice middle set to Raven Colvin, the freshman, as you mentioned, in the starting lineup there. So good job by her to get that first set and a kill.
And it's Jenna Otek to serve first for Purdue, the libero. And an ace for Otek, I guess. Some clear miscommunication on the serve receive for Minnesota. Otek is a fantastic server, 18 aces on the season. Hornung lays out for the dig and the swing from Newton. Stephanie Samity has over 1,000 swings this season for Minnesota, number 1,008 there. And Purdue is off to a 3-0 start. You may have wondered how Purdue would respond emotionally to that dramatic win over number 4 Wisconsin in Madison to start the weekend. And they are clearly ready to roll here inside another hostile Big Ten venue, the Pavilion in Minneapolis. Minnesota is on the board thanks to Stephanie Samity.
Yeah, you just have to lay it up for this kid and then watch her go after it, going high hands. And, you know, she is a right side player in rotation 1. She will stay on that left side in serve receive to get a swing.
Haley Bush with the pass in the middle to J.L. Johnson, who missed some time with illness at the beginning of October. Purdue's lineup so much more robust with Johnson on the floor. And on the cross-court kill, Caitlin Newton with the point. Grace Cleveland serves for Purdue. And a very sharp angle on that shot from Minnesota, and it's wide, a point for the Boilermakers. Schaffmaster and her counterpart, Purdue setter Haley Bush, each had 905 assists coming into this match. Point for Minnesota, off the block. It's 5-2 in the first set, and Dave Shondell gave his Jimmy Johnson impersonation when we came out of the broadcast when he screamed, "How about them Boilermakers?" 407 wins, and they ended Wisconsin's 30-match home win streak inside the Wisconsin Fieldhouse in 4 sets, no less. That's down and another point for Purdue. Newton with the serve for Purdue, and the set in the middle went to Katie Myers. Here's Emma Ellis with the swing for the Boilermakers. Schaffmaster picks out Samity, off the block and down. It's a point U, 6-3. Lob serve from Samity. And from the back row, Newton, too strong, but a touch and a point for Purdue. Hugh McCutcheon is the head coach for the Minnesota Golden Gophers in his 10th season. His teams tend to get better as the season goes along. I know when we spoke to him on Zoom the other day, you had one of their first matches of the season against Baylor, and you couldn't believe how much different this Minnesota team looks now nearing the end of the regular season. Yeah,
and he said, you know, it's all about having time in the gym. He admitted that they were a little choppy at the beginning of the season, and he's like, you know, we just have to train them, and he really takes pride in what he can do and teach the skill and teach a team how to get better and win, and that's what you're seeing in November from Minnesota.
And again, with all due respect to Purdue and the way they've been playing volleyball lately, Minnesota, after that 1-3 start, has ripped off 16 of 19. Stephanie Samity picked up that last kill for Minnesota, her 3rd of the match. Emma Ellis off the block, pushed up in the back row, and Heidi Miyabe swings it over. Quickly dumped back by Minnesota. Ellis again. Close to the net, a joust. Cece McGraw lunged for it, but the ball was tipped and out of position. However, Minnesota still kept it alive thanks to Jenna Wennis, who swings now from deep and muscles that one down. And it is a net violation, and the call is reversed. Another kill for Stephanie Samity. Bush sets the middle. That was Colvin with the swing, and a point for Purdue.
Well, what's impressive here is Colvin has improved so much since the last time I've seen her play. Take a look at how she goes right up there and she hits high. You know, this is a kid who keeps getting more and more confident. She has been impressive so far.
That's part of the thrill of being a freshman. That ball was in the net and eventually a Purdue point. You can make those quantum leaps during your season like that. Marissa Hornung with the serve for Purdue. Caitlin Newton sets the ball over. Miyabi with the swing, but the Purdue block, second in the nation in blocks per set, comes up big there. The Boilers are up 13-5.
Well, take a look at Cleveland, how she is out and then reaches back in with her arms, sealing that seam right between her and the middle blocker. So great movement from Grace Cleveland with her hands on the block.
Miyabe goes touch that time. Bush pulls that one out of the net. Cleveland swings to Samity in the back row. Miyabe again. Block is tooled down on Minnesota's side, but out of bounds, a point U. Bush passes to Raven Colvin. She's considered the most athletic player on Purdue's team. She can jump and touch 10-9.
Yeah, and a little unexpected that she's getting so many sets, but look at how she takes that ball. It looks like she's going to right back. Thumb down, challenges Cece McGraw on the dig, and it seemed like Cece wasn't quite ready for that one coming her way.
And that's the libero who's second in the Big Ten in digs per set. So if you fool her, you're onto something. Dug by McGraw that time, and Samity brings it back to planet Earth. Bumped over by Wennis. In the middle, J.L. Johnson, a thumper, but McGraw keeps it up. And Samity, a crafty maneuver from the fifth-year senior. Schaffmaster with the bump pass to Samity. Great dig by Hornung for Purdue. Over to Samity. Cross court, what a shot from Samity. Newton goes down the line, and what an answer from one of Purdue's stalwarts, Caitlin Newton.
Well, a great pass here. And there you see virtually one-on-one and goes right over top of Samity. Boy, those are two great athletes going at each other right now.
Purdue leads by 7 in the first set. Newton led her team in kills against Wisconsin with 19 on Friday. A point for Minnesota after a net violation. Back to play, Cece McGraw serves, and Caitlin Newton from the back row puts it down for a Purdue point. Jenna Wennis puts it down. Minnesota point. Big swing and a point for Johnson, who ran the slide that time for Purdue.
Well, JL is really known for her blocking, but take a look at this swing going cross-court hard, getting up. Again, the passing for Purdue is spot on right now. They're able to run their offense really cleanly.
Wennis is blocked by Purdue. 2.89 blocks per set for the Boilermakers. From the back row, Newton. Point Purdue, 19-10.
Well, look how fast Newton gets in on that. It's like she is taking her first step, even though it's a little congested in the front area of the court. Boy, she explodes, communicates well with her setter, reaches high on that attack. Service
error, Purdue. J.L. Johnson shoots it long, and Minnesota wins side out. Part of that 2020 recruiting class for the Gophers that was #1 in the nation, Melanie Schaffmaster, Taylor Landfair. Wennis, a fantastic player coming out of high school, gets a little bit overlooked because of how star-studded Minnesota there off the block. Wennis to serve again.
Yeah, I've seen Wennis have outstanding matches, and she really is such a steady player, playing 6 rotations.
Yeah.
You know, does a great job defensively, but we're going to see her arm swing in the front row. She will have a huge impact tonight.
How about the arm swing from the back row? Caitlin Newton for Purdue. She's having a great first set.
Oh, absolutely. Bush just knows where she is, and the placement of that ball is perfect. You can see how there's 2 blockers up against Newton, and she knows that the right back area of the court is open, so swings to that open area.
Schaffmaster sets Miyabe at the pin. The other pin this time, Samity blocked. Point Purdue, 21-12 Boilermakers in the first. Bush serves up an ace for the Boilermakers. They're up by 10.
Boy, Purdue, it's all Purdue this set, and I'm telling you, they look good and they look confident, and they are not rattled playing at the pad in front of this huge crowd.
4,000 career assists for Haley Bush as she serves another one, and that shot missed wide from Miyabe. It's another point for the Boilermakers, 2 away from as dominating of a first set as you'll see, especially against a team of Minnesota's caliber. Pavilion trying to encourage the Gophers right now. Emma Ellis off the block.
I love that shot, and I'm telling you, if you can train your outside hitters to do that consistently, boy, you will win some matches. And what a great job she does of wiping it high off the blocker's hands.
Set point Purdue, Bush serves. Schaffmaster sets, Katie Myers is blocked, and it's over in the first. A runaway train for Purdue against Minnesota. Purdue is 11-4 in the Big Ten. Minnesota is 12-3. Gophers can tie Wisconsin and Nebraska atop the Big Ten standings with a win today. But Purdue certainly has other intentions, but Minnesota begins the second set with the first point. Seven kills for Samity now, who passes illegally.
Yeah, double contact on that. You know, it's so important when a non-setter is touching the ball that they put up a good 5-5. And that time, Samity's feet weren't to the ball was not in the midline of her body, and as a result, her release was not clean.
Otek with the serve. What's a 5-5?
5 feet off the net. Okay. 5 feet in from the sideline, as high as you can get it. That's a really good set for a non-setter.
Okay. Well, that was 0 feet off the floor on that last kill from Samity. 2-1 Minnesota. She serves now. Notice the S sign that Minnesota fans make behind her. A tapper from Cleveland. And a swing from Wennis, who's blocked and keeps it alive. Turning into a long rally here. Dumped over by Schaffmaster. Over to Wennis. Mo Harnung with the pass. Grace Cleveland's way. Really important for Minnesota to win these long rallies, which is what they do well. And then Cleveland gets tied up with her teammate Haley Bush, and the Gophers prevail. You said that sometimes on those long rallies, it's one team's focus that ultimately ends up losing them the point. Cleveland out of bounds, no touch, point Minnesota, and the Gophers have won 4 of the first 5 points in the second set, which is what Purdue did in the first. Being the libero, though, as Samity serves, that's kind of like being the goalie.
Yeah.
You know, you've got the ball, the puck, whatever it is coming at you. You have to have a different mentality to want to be in that position. Newton is stuffed. Bush with the dig, pushed over by Hornung, and there's McGraw for Minnesota. Myers tried to push that one tight to the net. Over to Newton. Wenis denied, and she may have made contact with the net. Point Purdue. Wenis off a touch, and a point for Minnesota. On the slide, Johnson is rebuffed. Newton swings to McGraw in the back row, and here's Heidi Miyabe, the junior college player of the year, with the point for the Gophers. Wenis with a lob serve. Big time swing from the back row by Grace Cleveland. That's a point for Purdue after Cece McGraw just couldn't quite get out of the way. It hit her shoulder. And so it's an ace for Caitlin Newton, Purdue's third. Right back to McGraw. Samity dug by Purdue's Maddie Skimmerhorn, but it's a point for Minnesota. Pinballed over and dug by Samity after Bush made contact for Purdue. Otek comes crashing in, but she couldn't adjust to the tip, and Minnesota goes up 9-4 in the second. Emma Ellis. Newton with a runner. With the swing, it was touched by Skimmerhorn. Minnesota gets its 10th point. There was a touch on that swing by Emma Ellis, and Hugh McCutcheon disagrees. Challenge card was in his hand.
Well, let's take a look at this.
He didn't challenge it though, so a point Purdue, it's 10-5, and Samity, pure power, 11-5. And a point for Purdue after that ball was tapped down by Raven Colvin in the middle. Haley Bush. Jenna Wenis. 6 rotation player as a sophomore, and she wins the point for the Gophers. Colvin gets the set and plants it right in front of Schaffmaster.
Well, you can see when there are 3 hitters, each blocker has to line up with the hitter across the net. So if the pass is perfect, you're essentially going one-on-one in the middle, which opens up a ton of angles. Colvin, boy, she's playing well tonight.
Mo Hornung with the serve for Purdue. It was out of bounds wide. Point Minnesota, they're back up 5. Colvin again, McGraw digs it. Wenis pushes it up to Schaffmaster, back to Samity. Otek flails at it for Purdue. A whistle and a point Minnesota. McGraw to serve again. And it would have been an overpass. It was just out of bounds. 15-8. Bush with the quick ball in the middle to Colvin, and this time Minnesota was ready for Purdue. They go right back to Colvin, however, and Hornung keeps the play alive for Purdue after the rejection again by Myers. The Maryland transfer. Wenis wins the point for the Gophers. Minnesota hosts Wisconsin next weekend. In fact, 1 week from today on Sunday, there's a friendly roll and ace for CC McGraw. There's Cleveland with the swing. She's turned away, but a point for Purdue. It landed out of bounds. Two kills away from 400 this season. Tapped back down by Myers on the overpass.
Well, Newton's getting a lot of action on serve receive. You can see how this ball goes over the net. Easy ball for Katie Myers.
Talked to Hugh McCutcheon about Katie Myers and her role on this team. An overlooked player, but really filling a valuable role at the middle blocker position for the Gophers. That swing, a point for Purdue. Chips Ahoy or Oreo, perhaps. Over to Jenna Wennis. Blocked and down on Minnesota's side of the net. Point Purdue. Wennis to serve. To Otek. Bush. Right back from McGraw. Newton. Blocked. Point U. 22-11. Otek just barely kept that ball off the floor. From the back row, it was pushed over by Cleveland, who digs Samity over to Newton. Roll shot. Wennis. What a play by Bush, but Purdue can't keep it up. Two Titans in the Big Ten on display in Minnesota today. First set was 25-12 Purdue, and Minnesota has set point up 24-11 in the second. Fantastic response by the Gophers on their home floor. Feels like Wennis has been living behind the service line for Minnesota. McGraw can't keep that up, however. And it's 24-12. I just think it's going to be the same score reversed as the first set.
We'll just keep seeing it over and over again. Oh, for this one, I thought you just... Right. You know, it's just errors from Purdue right now, just unforced errors. So we'll see if Minnesota can side out, and then your prediction is right on.
On the cross-court swing by Myers. She makes a joker out of me. That's okay. 24-13. Still set point for Minnesota. Schaffmaster sets Miyabe. Dug by Newton. Otek over to Ellis. Blocked out of bounds. And a couple points strung together by Purdue with their backs against the wall. That one in play, but not quite. It's a point for Minnesota. They win 25-14 in the second set, and we are tied at 1-1. Underway in the third with a swing from Caitlin Newton. Best of three the rest of the way, as Wennis tries to dump it over for Minnesota. There's Schaffmaster, an Indiana native. Newton down in front of CC McGraw. Purdue strikes first. Wennis keeps it, rather put it in the lap of Jenna Otek, who kept it alive for Purdue. Wennis back at it again. Cross court and a kill for Minnesota, 1-1.
What an effective shot that is. Wennis going cross court with lots of pace on that ball. I like how quick she gets back, and then watch that thumb down, goes right over top of Newton's head.
CC McGraw serves to Otek, her counterpart, the libero. Wennis in the early going in the third set. In the middle, J.L. Johnson thumps that ball down for a Purdue point. Dave Shondell has praised J.L. Johnson's work ethic throughout her career. Minnesota ties it up now in the third at 2. Purdue was without J.L. Johnson for a string of matches in early October. And it's great, you know, this is a very deep Purdue team, but even just losing Johnson, that really changed what Purdue was trying to do.
Well, she's a very positive person, and her teammates really like her. So when she was back in the lineup, they all felt really happy that she was back in the lineup. And you can see she's getting a ton of opportunities to swing for her team.
And Stephanie Samity serves. Grace Cleveland comes flying in from the back row, but missed long. Point U, 4-2.
Or do that.
That's what Haley Bush does very well.
Yeah, and the pass allows her to do that. And, of course, front row setter, you're going to see that the block is not expecting that. You can see Wennis is already reaching, starting her foot work to block the slide, and that opens up the area of the court for Bush to attack.
And she has the green light to do that whenever she wants. Talking to Dave Shondell about that. Purdue wins a couple and ties it at 4 now.
Well, this is a serve that's really difficult. It's between two people. Left back, left front.
Keeps it in play. Now 11 kills away from Chris Schaefer's mark, 4th all-time. Samity, by the way, already has the Minnesota kills record in the rally scoring era and has a chance to reach the 2,000 kill mark before her career at Minnesota ends. Bush couldn't get that one on Purdue's side of the net. Purdue lucky to be alive in this point after the overpass. Newton, however, is blocked. Katie Myers up front. Skimmerhorn on serve receive for Purdue. Kept alive on the second crack by Newton. Pin waving all over the place. Point Minnesota. That's Newton in the back, and you're right on cue about the substitutions for Purdue, Audrey. Maddie Cook, number 16, is on the far pin right now for the Boilermakers. Heidi Miyabe for Minnesota blocked. Whistle blows the play dead, and a point for Purdue. Johnson digs it, but Colvin couldn't keep it alive.
You talk about a scouting report, and in the game of volleyball, there's 6 rotations, so you have 6 mini games, and in that particular rotation, you know the middle blocker for Purdue is playing over top of the block in right back. That's exactly where you want to tip the ball. They're typically bigger kids, not great defensive players, so good strategy for Minnesota.
Katie Myers serves. That's a service error on Myers. And Haley Bush serves for Purdue. Blocked but out of play, point Minnesota.
The matchup of Miyabe and Cleveland is a very interesting one. Both are super talented, and Cleveland, you know, one of the things she takes pride in is being a solid blocker on that right side, but Miyabe's been able to use her hands a few times here in this match.
Miyabe is a front row player and has just brought a positive kind of ray of sunshine to the Gophers team. Bubbly personality as Cleveland puts that one down for Purdue. I know you like watching Miyabe.
Yeah, there's something about her that I really like. I like it when she's playing loose and smiling and having fun. You know, she's a kid that I can rally behind. This is a young lady that came to the United States from Japan, knew little English, and has managed to find her way on one of the best teams in the nation.
McGraw keeps it alive. Samity to Wetness, who clubbed it over, but had too much muscle on it. Circus-like point.
Well, you cannot deny the effort and the attitude, the defensive skill that CeCe McGraw brings to the court. Now, they didn't win the point, but that effort is tremendous.
Into the net. Schaffmaster can't fish it out.
We're going to have to see here which team can just play a little bit more consistent, eliminate the unforced errors, and we're seeing the value of the serve-pass game here in the third.
Stephanie Samity putting together a National Player of the Year resume. Has got 12 kills to lead all players on the floor. Rachel Kilkelly with the serve for Minnesota. The set to Grace Cleveland, and off the Minnesota block, it's a point for Purdue. Great serve from Jenna Otek. Samity puts that one inside the 10-foot line.
Yeah, I just don't know if there is an answer to stop that ball. I mean, that is a serious swing. I mean, that's where you just got to give her the point and go,
sure.
Okay, you're awesome, so let's try to get a side out now.
On to the next. Great dig by Schaffmaster. However, it's a Purdue point. "14 kills, and yet it feels like she's heating up. She's been great all match long, hitting .353 at the moment. That's out of play. Point Purdue. Madeline Cook, the junior from Ashwaubenon, Wisconsin. Swing in the middle from J.L. Johnson, who thought that was going to be a Purdue point. Minnesota kept it alive, but put out of play. Purdue eventually wins it.
Well, Skimmerhorn is playing right back defense. It was Samity that swung the ball and went to the right back area of the court, and Skimmerhorn controlling that ball. So a little different look when Skimmerhorn's in there as opposed to Grace Cleveland.
Newton aces up Minnesota.
So frustrating for Minnesota, but you've got to be able to try to keep that ball alive. Those serves that trickle over the net are tough, but wow, 6-0 run right now for Purdue.
Caitlin Newton has played some of her best volleyball against Minnesota, had a career-high 29 kills against the Gophers last season. Wentz with a big swing, and there is Bush teaming up with J.L. Johnson on the block. Haley Bush only 6 feet tall, but she can help up front.
Oh yeah, take a look at her hands over the net. It doesn't really matter how tall you are, it's how high you get over the net. And this is an area, as I mentioned before, that has been a focus for Haley Bush. She has worked hard to set the block and to reach back to the middle of the court. She did that perfectly there. Started out and diving in to take away that cross-court shot.
Bush gets her own rejection, and there's Cook. Great dig by McGraw, but a point off the bench for the left side hitter for Purdue, Madeline Cook. Jenna Wentz, dug by Otek. A tapper from Newton, great play by McGraw. That's why she's one of the best dig artists in the Big Ten, second in the conference. Ball out of bounds, and a point Minnesota. That started with CeCe McGraw. Jenna Wennis out of Liberty High School in Frisco, Texas with the serve. To Skimmerhorn for Purdue. And Johnson is blocked in the middle, but out of bounds. A point for the Boilermakers. They are 3 away from taking a 2-1 lead. Nothing to do about that Bush push. The dump from the Purdue center, and it's 23-15.
Really smart play by Haley Bush.
Stephanie Samity muscles that one down for her 15th kill.
So if you're Purdue, you just have to let that one go. This one was a ball that hit the top of the net. Probably should have been got defensively, kind of ricocheted off of Colvin's hands. But just, you know, at this point, you got to let those ones go, see if you can side out for a point.
You said that after multiple Stephanie Samity points. You just got to let that one go. So I'm detecting a theme there. Mo Hornung serves set point number 1 for Purdue, and Purdue takes the third set with a back row attack from Minnesota. 25-16, Purdue wins the third set to go up 2-1.
When Purdue is on, they are really, really good. And then they have these moments where they just get a little sloppy. So, yes, if they can follow the game plan that Coach Shondell has set forth for them, they will definitely come out of this one on top. What I'm seeing, the trend I'm seeing, is that the outside hitters for Minnesota are not hitting high percentage balls, but really neither are Purdue's left sides. The numbers are really, really low for left side hitters, which is really the bread and butter of your team often. So hitting percentage really down for both teams at this point.
Off the block, out of bounds. Purdue is on the board in the fourth. Purdue is hitting 186. Minnesota is hitting 118. Purdue now up to 194 after that last point.
You know, Samity always steady, 15 kills, 31%. So she's always the highlight of that Minnesota team. So consistent, so steady.
Myers right up the middle. Minnesota point. What a dig by Hornung on the blistered ball by Samity. Samity took something off it. Newton through the block and down for a Purdue point. Kilkelly couldn't save it for the Gophers in the back row. Schaffmaster takes a page out of Haley Bush's playbook. We mentioned Schaffmaster is from the state of Indiana. She went to Newcastle High School, but she committed to Minnesota as an 8th grader and shut down her recruitment. Purdue never had a chance at her. And another point, this time for Purdue to tie us up at 3. That was touched, and a point for Minnesota. Minnesota has Ellie Huseman, number 16, in the middle. Off a touch, it's a point for Purdue. Stephanie Samity off the tape. Newton from the back row, dug by Samity. Miyabe. Skimmerhorn. Here's Cook, who's becoming the star of the show. A point for Purdue.
But a great dig in the right back area of the court. Take a look at that play to keep the ball alive. But you're right, Cook is coming alive. Not a lot of court to hit at, but boy, nice snap on the ball. And Cook.
4 kills on 6 chances for Cook, all since the start of the third set. Miyabe off the block. Bush back to Cook, feeds a hot hand. This time the block for Minnesota is ready and waiting. Huseman. Cook off the palm of her hand. Fished out of the net. McGraw over to Skimmerhorn. Point Purdue on the swing from Caitlin Newton.
Well, I love this play. You've got the middle going behind. The block is leaving to block the slide, and there's only one block in front of Newton. So I love the execution of that play, how the middle goes behind, opens up the net for a back row attack to swing.
That one sails long from Haley Bush, and Rachel Kilkelly, the junior, goes behind the line. Raven Colvin back on the floor, and on the overpass, it leads to a Purdue point. Cleveland is blocked out of bounds, and Purdue grabs a 3-point lead in the fourth.
Nice aggressive swing by Cleveland. That's her 7th kill of the night. And again, she uses the block. The block is my friend, she says, and she uses it beautifully.
Cece McGraw serves for Minnesota. And digs Caitlin Newton. Schaffmaster to Wennis, a little tight to the net, but Myers is there in the middle for Minnesota. It's swung over to Samity. Off high hands. Samity tools the block. Another double-double for Samity. Colvin pushed that one over. Off the Purdue block and down in play for a Boilermaker point. Minnesota unable to tie. Overpass, and Johnson beats it down. And Samity puts it away after a couple of ricochets. She serves to tie the fourth set, and Katie Myers in the middle triggers that point.
Katie Myers just staying at home and not letting these free balls come over the net. An experienced player, she knows what to do. Whispers a little something to her setter.
She's from your neck of the woods, Westerville, Ohio.
Yeah, she played at Mintonette Volleyball Club. I've known Katie for a number of years. I think I've known her since she was in 6th grade.
There's a one-handed dig by Cece McGraw. It's kind of a Minnesota blue light special, but Purdue doesn't care, and they grab the lead back in the fourth. Johnson again. Samity from the back row. Otek couldn't get there.
I think Otek thought it was going to go wide.
When it serves Hornung of Purdue, Bush passes Newton's way. Too much heat for McGraw to handle. 13-12.
Yeah, I love this situation that we're seeing right now with Newton swinging cross court into the best defensive player. And sometimes you win them and sometimes you don't. You can see Cece McGraw is not happy with letting that ball outbeat her, I guess, so to speak, on that particular play.
Offensively, this has been the best set of the match. Both teams hitting better than they have in the 3 previous sets. Heidi Miyabe takes a bite out of Purdue's block to tie us at 13. Newton puts space in the Minnesota zone.
And it's no surprise that she put it in that space because you had Katie Myers, again, the middle. She serves and she plays that area. There's a lot of space, a lot of area to defend. And she is a fast kid, but defense is not her specialty. So that is where scouting is important, and you know exactly where you want to tip the ball in every rotation.
And Melanie Schaffmaster continues to attack the ball from the center position for Minnesota.
Yeah, I really think that she should do that more often.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if she doesn't feel comfortable doing that. I've seen her play at
she was a
club
hitter.
And yeah. I mean, I think she's totally capable of doing it. Just not sure why she doesn't use that. She doesn't really get a lot of hitting attempts, attacking attempts.
Stephanie Samity off the Purdue block. It's been a yo-yo match here in the fourth set. 15-15. Teams basically exchanging points right now. The 10th 20-kill match of Stephanie Samity's season. You have 10 20-kill matches in a career. That's pretty good. That's what Samity's done this season. Cook on the roll shot. McGraw passes back to Samity. That is kill number 21.
You know, I want to point out, when you're playing defense, you have to understand balls that can be hit and balls that can only come out as a roll shot. So not only are you defending a player and looking at their hand, but you're also assessing as a group of 6, can this shot be hit, can it not be hit?
Tight to the net. Schaffmaster brings it back to Huseman. Hornung with the dig. McGraw. And Wennis. Samity has just tied Chris Schaefer for 4th most kills all time in Minnesota program history. The 4-time All-American gives Minnesota the lead in the 4th set. Ball is just rainbowed all over the place, and it ends in a Purdue point. Jenna Otek, a dangerous server behind the line now for Purdue. Cleveland off the block. Schaffmaster feeds Samity, who is denied at the net, and a point for Purdue. Samity behind the line, serves Hornung. Bush passes to Cleveland. Samity. Here's Caitlin Newton. Into the corner, that's down for a Purdue point, 19 all. Cleveland serves. Bush passes to Johnson. Blocked at the net. Minnesota the first to 20. They're in the red zone. Both teams hitting over 370 in the 4th set. Samity off the touch, picks up her 23rd kill. She's in sole possession of 4th most kills all time in Minnesota program history.
McGraw handling that ball perfectly, and you can see Samity with one block in front of her, steady player, and just gets that important point for her team.
Bailey McMenamin serves. First rotation for McMenamin of the match. Newton is blocked. It's a point for Minnesota. McMenamin again. She's the 2nd setter for Minnesota. Newton looked angry coming into the attack there. She thought there was a Minnesota touch. There was not, and it's 23-20.
Yeah.
A touch is called, and Dave Shondell wins the challenge. We are the fourth set, not anymore. Purdue off the challenge has grabbed the 23-22 lead. Allie Hornung again with Purdue on a 3-0 run, trying to win in 4. Cook puts it down, and it is match point Purdue. Crowd staying in it, but they have to be stunned. McGraw keeps it alive. Miyabe. Newton for the win. It's dug by Samity, out of play, and Purdue does it again. Back-to-back road wins against top 10 programs. Purdue says, so long, we're back.